absolutely going to have the glasses on the thumbnail. And I'm going to do the jujitsu pose. All of it. This is who you married.
I did not. Okay, go ahead.
If you don't,
intro.
So this is To Become Family. We are your hosts, Renzo and Monica Ortega. This is episode 148.
Who even knows anymore?
148. I think it's 148. The glasses have just made you not want to live anymore. So if you are listening to us on audio and you're not checking out the YouTube videos, it's okay. But on video, you would see that I'm wearing these glasses that make me look like Daredevil. Superhero. I don't know.
Hipster.
No, it's a superhero that's blind and has glasses. So I'm wearing blue light blocking glasses because it is late. This is what I said to Monica earlier. She's like, "Why are you wearing the glasses?" It's late. I want to go to bed after this, and I do this for free. So I'm not trying to give up my sleep time. Like I want to be able to go right to bed. And I work behind a desk all day, and I'm constantly looking at like screens and stuff. So
he's got his orange, like you just said glasses. Blue light blocking glasses, orange tinted glasses. I have a pair myself too.
Put them on. So the thumbnail.
Show.
Yes, and ready, and we'll look. No, you gotta hold it for 5 seconds.
Together at the same time.
Yeah, that way it's easier to edit later.
Okay.
Make my life easier. Yes, we did it. Oh, look at the flirty flirt happening. She can't help herself but laugh at the things I do.
I don't know if I'd put flirting and that statement together.
I
but
would. It's the same.
That is true. I can't help but laugh at you.
No. See, now you're doing it. But she's wearing them too. Because what?
Should I just embrace?
You should just embrace. This is better for our brains. I know that Huberman posted once with them on.
I mean, if he did it, then it must be cool.
That's it.
And it must be the right thing to do.
I totally buy into everything that he does. No, and so that's what I have. That's what we were talking about before we started. And it's funny because like we have all this light stuff.
There's a lot of lights. Well, it's like a very bright room. So
yes.
It makes sense. It makes sense to wear indoor sunglasses.
Oh, but we have a lot to talk. You took them off.
I did.
How dare you? All right, so we have a lot to cover today in a short period of time. But we are on week 2 for our Lenten devotional that you and I have been doing. It's not a devotional, but we've been reading through Trusting Our Father's Provision by Dr. Bob Schutz because of copyright laws and trademark laws, I'm sure. We're not going to give away any of the book, but we are going to just reflect on what has been stirring on our hearts from the book, which has been a lot. And especially like it's amazing because we thought of doing this before having any travel plans and things of that nature. And we actually just came back from our trip to Steubenville with we actually went out and we visited Emily Simpson Chapman and Chris Chapman out there, as well as Casey Stapleton and
Kate Stapleton. Kate and Casey
Stapleton. And we were able to record a podcast episode with them, which was so much fun to do.
We recorded 2.
We did. We recorded one
for like public audience free and then one for the subscribers.
Oh man.
That one is juicy.
If you want to hear things.
You want to hear some sass and some
I don't know.
good content.
I'm the same way everywhere.
That's true. But it was like
it was
fun to it was really fun to talk.
I should have wore these glasses to that. But
it should have. Casey would have liked those, I bet.
He does jiu-jitsu. I loved it. It was really cool. So all right, so let's start from the beginning.
Start over.
So we got invited by Emily Simpson Chapman. She's become a great friend of ours. And on Instagram, we Monica built a relationship there, and we were able to go out and record.
She wrote the foreword to our book.
Where's the book?
To our book.
To this book. To lovemaking. How to. Never mind. I was going to make a joke that. No. Lovemaking. How to talk about sex with your spouse. So Emily wrote the foreword to that. Very powerful foreword. And it's just very cool because she is such a.
She supports
great
this
author.
book. And,
she's a brilliant brilliant woman. I love sitting in rooms with people that are
so smart,
so clearly much more intelligent than I'll ever be. And it's just cool to be like, and just like, be in awe of that. Like,
to be in awe of that. And then also to like they're so normal and nice
and super humble.
Yes. So they are just great. So the Chapmans hosted us. I'm going to say the whole Chapman family, because the three kids also were great at hospitality, and they just welcomed our kids and played and shared their toys and their living space for 3 days with us. And everyone was just so great.
Yeah.
And so Emily invited us out to record these podcast episodes with the Stapletons. They have podcast visitation series and
visitation sessions,
excuse me. And we got to join them on that and go into their soon to be newly renovated studio. So it hasn't been yet, which made it feel even better, because it was really cool. Super.
We should send them glasses for when the studio has lights.
Okay, there we go. Congratulations to them. And I loved every minute of being out there.
I can't even can't put words behind like what that did for me and like how I feel about what we do here. Right. How I feel about To Become Family, just where it fits within the mission of what we are trying to accomplish. Right. In the book and everything. Like it was just very powerful for that. And I think it mixed, you could definitely see the Lord's hand in it, because a lot of the things that were coming up through conversations, just casual conversation too. It's not like we were going to just ask a ton of questions, but things just came up that I'm like, that they just were hitting on points that you and I had been praying about the week prior, because of the things that are coming from the book.
Yep.
And it's just like, you could see that we are open this Lent, and God is definitely speaking to us and responding. Right.
Yeah. For example, the drive out.
Oh yeah.
2 hours into our drive, we left very early before dawn. It was still dark out. And we left very early in hopes of getting to Ohio for lunchtime to visit with
friends.
Visit with friends who are living out there, their little family, and to see them for lunch before we went to the Chapman's house, so that we could, once we got to the Chapman's, we were just fully with them. And 2 hours in, we stopped for gas and to use the bathroom. And long story short, our car was leaking oil, and we didn't know it until we stopped. Thankfully, we stopped. So God's provision number one is that we had to pee, because our engine could have blown.
We stopped at 6:30, right?
We first stopped at 6, and then the next stop was around 6:30.
No, I don't think I went for a half hour. I was freaking out about
no. So we got off the highway at 6 and did the bathroom and the gas fill up or whatever. So by the time we stopped the second time to check it again, it was 6:30. And then we slowly drove to a mechanic at 7 and sat in the parking lot until they opened, so that we could plead for them.
It was 27 degrees out too, and we couldn't turn the car on.
Right, because we couldn't run the engine. So we sat and waited and pleaded our case to please fix our car and please do it as quickly as possible, because we are not near home and we are not near where we're going.
No, we still had
we still had 6 hours to go.
Yep.
And they got us in. They knew exactly what part to fix. They didn't have the part, so it took a little bit longer.
But amazing, they were able to even get the part.
But they were able to get the part, and then we did not have to pay as much as we would have had to pay if we had done it out here, in Connecticut, or just just the Lord providing. And then there was a cute little diner a little bit down the road, walking distance from the mechanics. We were able to, in the 4 hours while waiting for our car to be repaired, take a little field trip to a diner and the kids were so thrilled with their grilled cheese and water, because we had been depriving them of water.
Oh, we deprive hardcore of water when we take trips.
So, but just in all of that, that our car wasn't completely broken down, that we didn't need a tow truck, that we didn't have to stay in this small town, Pennsylvania, for a night or whatever, all this stuff. We were able to make it out to the Chapman's house for dinner, and then just be loved on. They loved on us so well this weekend.
Yeah.
So nice.
And so there's 2 chapters in this book that we read for this week. You read ahead because you're a good student. Is that a good student? Ruining the teacher's plans. But
I'm prepared for the next. Go ahead.
No, but so the 2 chapters, one was about receiving in abundance, right, of God, what God has for you. And I did not realize how much I struggle with that. It's clearly like this whole thing's been like, this is the thing you struggle with. But like, one thing is I tend to assume that when God's providing something, he's going to provide it in the specific way I asked for it. And so like, just so you know, listeners, some behind the scenes, like Monica and I do pray a lot about what To Become Family is, what it should be, where it should be going. Is this still what God's will is for us to be doing? And we don't look for just like success to be the only metric that we gauge. Like, oh, this is what God wants. Like,
actually, it's pretty low on that
list.
Right.
No, right. Because like, is God, like, we don't gauge a great amount of listeners or a lot of engagement on Instagram or anything like that as a metric for we should keep doing this. But we want to see good fruit. So specifically, like, people do message us and like having lives changed and having powerful testimonies about like
or even just a great conversation with their spouse, their fiance,
because they heard something that like they hadn't heard before,
right? Or like hearing like I've struggled with such and such a thing, and I've never heard it presented in a way that you've done before, and it's changed my perspective. Or I no longer feel alone in experiencing something because you were willing to share. So really, like, yeah, data is not our driving point, but more like connection, and not even connection with us, but like for your connection with your beloved to be changed in a good way.
Right, because we want marriages to get better, and like this is our small way of trying to get that to happen. So like if you can, like, I know I joke about like, I'll leave a review, send us a message, but like the more you do that, the more it is just affirming of like, okay, this is there is good that God is able to do with this, right? But then at the same time, there's a question of like, how much more could we keep doing? Because like you see, I'm trying to do YouTube, but like this is I can't put more than I do into it. So that's not that I don't care. I'm wearing the glasses, but like I'm not gonna try to put a horse and pony, no, dog and pony
show,
duck and pony,
duck,
not a duck,
definitely not a duck.
Well, that'd be.
I don't know what phrase you're trying to say.
Dog and pony show. What do people say? Is that
dog and pony show.
Like, I'm not going to try to do I'm not going to try to put on like I'm not going to try to be a character so that we get more views, because like that's not the point.
Yeah.
So like we are constantly praying about like does God want us to keep trying to grow this, put more effort into it, and I was not prepared to receive in abundance what God had for us this weekend.
Yeah.
Because like we were able, and I don't want to share too much because like I like that it's for us, but I do want to share enough that like what we got out of this weekend was very much God's hand, and definitely speaking to like giving us something to receive that I realized as it's happening, like my heart wasn't prepared for something like this, because sometimes I don't think God provides in ways like people like, oh, God provides through people, and I kind of get like back to the atheist, like you can't fight an atheist with that, but like, then being able to see like God's hand is clearly in here, like that, I can't deny it.
Yeah, and like that story of the story of the car is just it feels like the most like practical and tangible way to like describe that God was with us this weekend, and that like this weekend was part of his plan, because it just could have gone disastrously. It also could have like not happened at all, and we could have just had a smooth drive out to Ohio, but it was almost like a thing had to happen so he could be like, I'm here, guys. And then just for these really deep and fruitful conversations to happen between you and I, and between the people that we spent the weekend with, and like for their willingness to go there. And it was just full of good. It was just full of goodness, and could not have been orchestrated or manipulated in that way. Like it could have definitely stayed on the surface, and everyone was really pleasant and nicey nice, because like we're guests, and we're and then we're gonna treat our guests. Like it wasn't like that. It was just special in the way that like it was special because it was for us.
It is going to be a core
needed.
memory of Like
for sure.
we did that
for all of us too. Yes. Like even the kids like had such a great time, and it's neat. Like it was all that was another gift. Like from the Chapmans, from the get go, the invitation was to bring the kids and like to go as a whole family, not just us. So this wasn't a worky trip. It was like family with family with family, and like when we recorded the podcast episodes, all three families were together. Like the kids were all wrecking havoc downstairs while we were upstairs having a great conversation. And I think that was also just really special for us to be like, okay, our goal to like keep our family involved in this and for this to be like a family mission was supported by the others who are also doing the same. Like that they are really, really protective of their family time.
Yeah. And so I'm such a pessimistic curmudgeon.
Melancholic.
I've always
you are melancholic.
Not fully.
True.
Bossy grumpy man. Bossy grumpy man. But I've always been very like cynical whenever there's like youth minister gatherings, right? I'm like, I don't want to sit and talk with other people about like what we do and what do you do? What do I do? Like I've never liked those. Still never will. But one thing that I did like was being able to sit with people that are also creators. And like there's not a competition.
No.
Right. It's not like you're competing with what we do. Like there definitely was a degree of mentorship, and then just from like hearing their experiences and everything. And then I felt very like, again, how God provides in abundance, but like who understood our hearts, which was like super special. Of just like, oh yes, like I'm just building a thing with the tools that I have. Yeah. Because this is what I like and I just want to serve Jesus.
And it feels so cliche to be like, I think this is what God is asking me to do. But like it is. And then to be with people who are also like making decisions, big and small, with that in mind as well. Yes. And that was
that there's that the sacrifices. Again, I'm trying to share vaguely. You'll know what I'm saying because we'd be good at taboo. And I know listeners, you may not know exactly what I'm saying, and you might be able to piece things together. But I apologize. I don't know how this will sound.
But it's also not fully our story in our weekend.
I was going to share our story.
Go ahead.
But more of like the sacrifices that we make. It's okay to be making those, right? Like of from all the different realms of like it's okay that we have to sacrifice certain things, and that was just very affirming. And again, like it's just. But like taking a step back of like we had specific prayers for God during this Lent, prompted by the book, and He is answering them in a way that we didn't anticipate, and that's just so interesting. And I kind of want to dwell on that for a little bit. Like as much as I've read theology, and the more I read theology, the more I study theology, the more I realize I don't know anything. And I still have an insistence in myself to put God in a box of like, this is how he acts. Like he's going to use you do, A, he's going to do B. Like, and it's always going to be that way. And I talked about this a little bit last week too. Like he just routinely continues to surprise me. And like, I was not prepared for this kind of surprise. And it was just really great.
Yeah. Right. Because so we've had these like two very specific prayer intentions that we are starting with that were kind of prompted by this like idea of God's providence and how he can do big things. So like,
and we should move in faith, believing that.
Yes. And so we were like, okay, so then like here are two really big things that we have both desired on our heart that we've kind of, I don't know, not fully let ourselves go there to like think that they're possible. And so we've had these two prayers, and we were at least I was going in thinking it's like, yes, this is my will, or no, it is not my will. And like, those are the two answers that he will give. So like, yes, it is my will. So here is the thing that you asked for. Or no, it is not my will. And I think that we were both fully prepared to hear no as well. Like hoping yes, but like, this is no. We want to do his will. So we're not going to sit there and be like, oh God, I want your will to be my will.
Yeah.
Like I think really okay with no as an answer, and that's fair. But he's like, yes, but I have it in a different way. And that was like, I want to answer yes to your prayer, but not have it look the way that you were thinking.
And then there's still a degree of stretching.
Yeah. And like a not all at once. It's like, keep going, guys. Keep following and keep going and keep stretching.
Because you assume a good way to describe it. There's a level of me that assumes that, like, because it's an answer to a prayer, it means that the answer makes all of the difficulties go away, right? Instead of like
comfortable and easy,
right. And instead of like, no, it could actually give you more difficulties.
It's actually a little harder.
But it's the answer to what you want, and I think prior to the weekend, like, I'd look at that kind of, because I think he'd been answering for a while, but it took the weekend to like, oh man, this is from God, right?
And to take a little bit of a leap, like,
yes,
you don't have all security in this answer.
No, right? And like I think Gomer uses the it's from a saint or scripture verse. I don't know, but I know Gomer has said it before of like that God gives us like it's like a lantern that only shines the first 2 steps in front of you, but like you don't see the whole path. So like we got enough to be able to see the first 2 steps.
I think of our friend Father,
Reese's Pieces.
His Reese's Pieces from E.T. Whenever he tells his vocation story, our good friend, he talks about how like God couldn't tell him the whole thing because then he wouldn't have done it. He would have been too afraid or like thinking, I don't deserve this, I can't do that, whatever. But he will lay out 1 or 2 Reese's Pieces for me to like pick up and follow. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do that. And it's like, I hear that in other people's stories and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. Like the whole path. Why would God show you the whole path? Like that is
it's
too much.
Intimidating. Yeah.
It is too much. And we were asking for him to show us the whole thing.
Right.
We were totally asking for like, what's the big picture, Lord? And he's like, no, this is the next step.
Right. And I like the way he illustrated it with the teens when he did it at youth group. And it was like, it was, oh, why is this saying no? Come back. Hold on. Saying we got cut off. I don't know where I got cut off. I'm gonna have to fix it in post, which by post means in 20 minutes from now.
That's how we do it. Sorry. Share the story later.
What was I saying?
Reese's Pieces.
Oh, the way he was describing it to the teens at youth group I thought was funny because it was very like you like he got Reese's Pieces, he picked it up, and then he'd look up like, but I can't do all that. He's like, no, you idiot. Just
pick up the freaking Reese's Pieces.
Like, but I can never do all that. No, you idiot. Like, and I was like, that's how I feel all the time.
Yeah.
So like even with the affirmation, no, keep it on. Keep it on. But like think about how good it is for your brain. Like as she contemplates.
Keep going.
Just hold it.
I'll put him closer.
Like I can't if I were to so bright.
Keep going.
No,
you idiot.
No, I just even like with the affirmation and the great weekend, like there's still a part of me, but I can at least recognize that part of me is not properly ordered, right? Because
I still want to know, is it going to work?
Right. No, but like we have a Father who provides for us. He showed us that he provides, and we are tasked to receive. Like it's not. I know it's like we have to. I know there's more work on our end, but there's also a level of like of like.
Yeah.
It's like receive what he's giving you. Like he's giving you tools, he's giving you things, like receive that.
Yes.
And make something great with him.
Yes. And like don't discount those gifts when he's trying to give them to you too. Sometimes you feel like, well, I'm unworthy, so this can't possibly be from God, and you kind of run away from some opportunities that may be really great. And yeah, I think that was the other thing that was inspiring about this weekend. And hopefully this is because I know we're talking in a lot of like vague things, and some people might be like,
tell us
what are you talking about?
We'll tell you what things at the end.
But the end of time. But I do think one thing that was inspiring to me was that spending time with the Chapmans and the Stapletons, both. We obviously spent more time with the Chapmans because we slept at their house. But was how powerful it is when couples are doing it together. And by it, I just mean like whatever the mission doing lovemaking.
Not lovemaking? No. Okay, I thought that was a plug for the book.
Point out the book.
That's a weird way of starting an ad.
When couples are doing it, it is powerful. We really got to witness that well this weekend. No, it was
phase 1.
Oh,
sorry.
Gosh. So it was so powerful to. I can't take you seriously
because of the glasses.
Yeah, that and so many things. Stop interrupting me.
You interrupted yourself. Well,
no, you pointed at the book. It's not me. Can't even remember. What was powerful for me to witness was couples doing it together, and that whatever that it is like their family mission that God has given them. That they weren't two people like living life next to each other and then like having kids together and eating dinner together. Like they were running forward or walking or like whatever pace, but just like they were going forward together. They were on the same page. They had clearly like discerned and talked through things together and prayed about things together, and were supporting one another in things that were like clear and obvious, and then things that were like shaky and uncertain. But they were like hand in hand on board. And they also were so, like they were so complimentary of one another. And like, they clearly were each other's like biggest fan.
Both couples, right?
Both couples. That's what, like, it was so.
And personalities were all so different, and like it just made me so happy to
wildly different that they are friends. First of all, the two couples are friends,
and you got to listen to their podcast.
Yes, because then you'll understand like how wildly different these two couples are in personality, and like styles and season, like where they are in life. But it was so clear that like they just like they loved one another and they liked one another, and they were like. They knew that their spouse was somebody great, and they like admired them. And it was,
and you saw freedom though. Like they were very free in how they just, so like the quote that comes to mind, oh gosh, Irenaeus, the glory of God is man fully alive. Right. And like you saw people that were fully alive and like who they were. And it could also be that like, it's because they're older than us that like you just saw a level of confidence in themselves and what their mission is in the Lord. Like, that I'm like, I want that. Yeah. Right. And then like, and to get the affirmation from God of like, this is what you need to do is it's just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny though. Chris made a comment about how you needed to go and take him for a walk because we've been married longer than they have.
I'm so sad we're not there.
I really appreciated them.
So in terms of like what, I know we can't give too much away so basically though, we do have plans for the future to become family, the future of lovemaking, the book, and like things that we want to create around it. So we're definitely have been nudged in the direction to create a little bit more here and to do a little bit more here. And
which is going to require us to make some sacrifices in different areas of our life. And I think that's like the scary thing. It's like, we can't just keep creating more. Like there are only so many hours in the day. Yeah. It is really late at night right now, guys. Like,
listen, you don't want to put the glasses on. Okay. I feel like
I just want you to shut up about the glasses. So here they are. But it feels like a sunny day in my upstairs bedroom. Yeah. So it was like, it was the nudge that like, you can't do everything. So like some things, and it was trying to like rightly order what things to do, what things to focus on, what things are no longer going to be part of our life or no longer part of our life for the season or whatever. Like just a lot of those logistics. And sometimes it feels weird to think like to pray for God to help you figure out logistics. You're like, okay, God has the plan and I have to figure out how to execute it.
Yeah.
And I think that he gave us a lot of insight into both.
Yeah. So sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So just like, yeah, we don't want to get too specific because we actually have to produce them and make them, but we got to
do the things.
We got to do the things, but
so God said, here's more work. No, but so what you can do to support us though is, and I tend to joke and be goofy about this, but if anything you could do to leave reviews, to rate us on Apple or Spotify, as well as like on YouTube if you're not a subscriber, like anything like that, just helps push this out to more people. And again, like we don't gauge the health of this by followers or anything like that, but we do want to reach more people with what we say, because we do believe we have something to say, and we believe that this is something that Jesus has given us the ability to do. Yeah. And there's just a lot of good fruit that's come from that.
Because we believe that marriages are really, really good.
Yes.
And that you guys, like, we're kind of talking about like the plans that God has for us. And we were so inspired because we saw other couples like living in that. And we are sharing that because we also believe that for you guys as couples. And so, like, if you feel like you're in a rut, if you feel confused, you feel unsure, you feel unfulfilled, like, don't stay that way, because that is not what your marriage was made for. Like, to look and to witness and experience marriages, like you said, like fully alive, in freedom, still like scared and uncertain about things, their own things.
They're human.
But like,
who would have thought?
Yeah, right. But to still be able to like live in the confidence that like God is God.
Yeah, but like, but it started for us, and this is what we I guess we challenge you, is like it started with us with having the faith to say actual prayers, like in praying for big things, not so like, again,
which
that's
is
something from
like
the book,
tying it back to this book,
like not praying for small things, and not praying for just like, not just praying the prayer of like, well, if it's your will, Lord, let me find a thing, but like, no, specifically, like, yes, we want to do your will, but like telling him the desires, and he knows them and he wants to hear them. And I've said this before the teens, but like, to actually exercise that again has been pretty radical. But if you want to but if you really want to help support us in the next, few months as we start rolling out new projects and new things,
doing some transitions,
please, the number one thing you could do right now is please go and subscribe to our Substack, because as you could see, Monica's putting a lot more into that right now. That is one of the nudges, so there's going to be a lot more Substack happening. And that's just the easiest way to connect with us right now. We don't want to stay on Instagram forever. We are on Instagram right now. But like, you'll be able to hear more and connect with us. It goes right to our phones. We get more notifications from Substack than we do Instagram.
I don't have notifications turned on, so.
You don't get the emails?
I get the emails.
I don't check
it emails. It doesn't buzz my phone.
I don't check emails. So.
I only see it when I ask to see it.
But
unlike these glasses on your face, I don't ask and I still see.
Okay, wait, two things. Wait, let me finish my second thought, and then I'll ask you a question. And then you can go ahead and support us on Patreon. But we do at some point want to shift away from that as well, because we are liars and don't provide anything to you there. But
yes, we do want to. If you support us on Patreon, we love you so much, and you are the best. And thank you for helping to make this actually real, because we use that to pay for like our subscriptions.
We do
to put these things up.
Like all these lights that I'm covering from my glasses.
But so like, yes, we're at a stage where like we don't make anything, but we at least can provide this.
Yep.
And on Patreon, we don't give you anything in return.
So
we
shout
give you
out
our thanks and our love, and our prayers. You truthfully, like we pray in Thanksgiving for the people who support us despite our lack. And
like, you have no idea how. Yeah, but
we're so grateful that you.
But yeah, so and last thing is, before I ask Monica a very embarrassing question, say a prayer for us. Keep us in your prayers during this Lent as we continue to just to go forward with what God has asked us to do.
Yeah, and to like, keep trusting in His provision.
Yes,
because it is scary.
It is scary.
It is scary to like it. Sorry. The school that our kids go to, there's an upcoming high school retreat, and the theme is like casting nets and like becoming fishers of men. So
what a focus missionary.
What a focus missionary she is to come and do that. Yes. Anyway, so I just got like that thought of like, it is scary to like cast out your net though, to like what am I going to get in return? So yeah.
Last question.
Uh-oh.
Did you really think I was talking in my sleep last night, or were you hallucinating?
I really thought you were talking in your sleep.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just laying awake.
Sorry. I must have had a dream where you were talking, and then I slowly woke up. Mm-hmm. I'm like our son.
You like yelled at me, like, "Are you okay?" Yes, you were talking. No, babe, I was awake the whole time.
Just kidding. Well, maybe you were talking while you were awake.
I could have. You're right.
But yeah. Anyways.
Thank you, people.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for following all the rambling. And hopefully something came out of it.
We gave you nothing and everything at the same time.
That's right. I really do.
Oh.
What?
Review lovemaking, please. We only got 20 reviews on Amazon, and we know for a fact more than 20 of you bought the book.
Yep.
We know for a fact the exact number as of 2 weeks ago, significantly more than 20. So if one of you peoples could please, or maybe all of you, could go and review it on Amazon and then go review it on Ave Maria's website, just copy and paste.
That'd be super helpful.
Super helpful.
Again, it for sharing.
Puts us in the algorithm. Yeah. That's all that life is about. No blue lights, give me the algorithm. That's all I want.
Yes. And guys, you can be a part of a great story that God has for you. I don't know. I guess I just want to make sure that point
be part of our story. Review on Amazon.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm sorry. Can't.
This is the episode of interruptions. You just don't want me to hit you in the feels. You know I have something good to say. You just don't want me to make you cry on camera with your orange glasses. Fog up the orange glasses. What?
It looks so pretty right now.
We'll see you at the next episode.